So after familiarizing myself with the rules and downloading the project file, I went over to Pinterest and started to get some inspiration. Initially, I was looking at some sci-fi ideas, space ideas, 2001 themed potentially, before circling around to a Rome idea, especially the fall of Rome. I really love this painting with the huge statue in the foreground and the boat on fire in the center. So I started doing very rough layout paths using that painting as a starting point. I found as I was doing this that my instinct was to keep nudging the chasm's edge higher and higher, further and further away to accommodate more and more detail in the scene below, adding a left bank to the image and a foreground sculpture. I like the idea that this was taking place at night, lit by pools of fire, with the main focal point being this burning boat in the center. Added a basic rigid body sim to this sculpture, which in time I hope to flesh out into a more detailed destruction sim. And with the time left I had in the day, I headed over to Character Creator and made this basic bloke and started to build out some very rudimentary armor, just using thin cylinders. These soldiers are going to be very far away from the camera and lit by flickering fire, so I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on this. And then just UVing this horse I found on Unsplash all over the place to just add some specular detail to the armor. Here I was just taking some cylinders, deleting some loop cuts and shrink wrapping to his feet to imply sandals. Finally I took this character into Mixamo, added a basic attack cycle, and I had a basic soldier. I then used geonodes to scatter a bunch of these over the lower deck, adding some random rotation. I think the whole point of this first day was to just get something on its feet as quickly as possible to see what was working, what wasn't, what level of detail is going to be required, whether I like the overall composition, whether I like the overall idea. So I'll leave this to render and see how I feel in the morning.